this is basically Emily trying to explain to Lorraine a little bit about what's going on with her and David. And this is at a time when Emily's got into a little bit of trouble about, it's the incident with Stacey that she's not reported to social services. So that's kind of what's going on in the background. It's difficult, Lorraine. I think other people in the service have cottoned on to what is happening between us, and they aren't happy about it. In fact, they're deliberately making life difficult for both of us. Lorraine snorted. Sounds familiar. At the end of the day, as long as you're both getting on with your job, it's none of their business. Well, Eric seems hell-bent on trying to tell David that I can't do mine. He's really got it in for me. Lorraine pulled her face. Eric, who's he? The service manager. He had a word with us about our relationship in the pub the other week. You know, trying to warn us off each other. Obviously it didn't work, and now it's a turn to get David to fail my probationary period, bastard. Lorraine watched me closely as I drank. So he's trying to get you fired? I nodded violently. Yep. Lorraine folded her arms as she leant back in her chair. I don't see how he can just because you're having an affair with your boss. Affair, what an ugly word. I felt my face flush. Well, he's making up excuses, and it isn't an affair. Lorraine's unfaltering scrutiny increased my discomfort. Like what? I shrugged again. Well, he's basically accused me of not reporting someone to social services that he reckons I should have. What? Lorraine fired back. I rolled my eyes. One of my clients relapsed and she has a little girl. It's no big deal. I added as my eyes widened again. I mean, we had a plan in place to get her sorted. Eric's just freaked out about it, that's all. Lorraine's eyes searched my face as I took another sip of my wine. My glass was almost empty, and with my friend's constant top-ups, I knew I'd probably exceeded my safe limit. Well, I don't know anything about your job, but that sounds pretty serious to me. I glared at her as she filled her glass once more before tipping the remainder of the bottle into mine. And you might not like to admit it, Em, but unless he's all of a sudden left his wife for you, it is an affair, so you better get used to it. Her triumphant smile made my eyes burn. Has he left his wife? No, I muttered. Lorraine clasped her hands together. Well, there you have it, she laughed as she shook her head, her ponytail whipping from side to side. Welcome to the club. It isn't an affair because we haven't done anything. My voice was loud and emotional in the cool calm of the pub. This time it was Lorraine's turn to look round, a pink glow around the base of her neck betraying her embarrassment. Okay, Emily, geez, you don't have to get upset about it. She wiggled down in her seat, her shoulders hunched. We sat in silence for a long moment, both of us staring at the knoll table between us. Eventually, Lorraine cleared her throat. So, if nothing's happened and he's still with his wife, how do you know he really likes you? I looked up at her, surprised. She pouted back at me. Well? Laughter spluttered out of me. Lorraine sighed impatiently and glanced around the pub again as I struggled to regain my composure. I settled myself with a sip of wine and grinned at her. Lorraine, you don't need to sleep with someone to know how they feel about it. You just know. She raised an eyebrow. Gee, well, thanks for the tip. But has he ever said anything? Yes, loads of things, I smiled back, my head high and haughty. Lorraine's other eyebrow crept up to meet the other. Explicit things, like he loves you and he's going to give up his livelihood for you? My smile wavered under the interrogation. No, but he doesn't need to. I know how he feels, and I feel the same way. That's all there is to it. I met Lorraine's gaze defiantly. My triumph was short-lived when she finally broke it. Emily, are you sure? I mean, I'm not being funny, but do you think there's a chance that you might have just got the wrong end of the stick? No, I don't think I've got it wrong at all. I think Dave's just been subtle for our sakes, for both our sakes. It's complicated. He's just been sensitive to the needs of his family as well as mine. Lorraine had picked up her handbag to search its cavernous inside. She eyed me, she pulled out a packet of Marlboros. Well, I've got to say, I'm not convinced. Anyway, I'm nipping out for a fag. Back in a minute.